Hello, people. Do you want to know how to make a rig? Like for your character? Yeah, okay. Well, cool. I'm gonna show you how to do so. So, before I start off here, there's three main things you need for this. All right, which I'm gonna do today. One, you need a model of sorts. I made this little guy. Just so you know, the pieces don't have to be attached to each other, but if you want them to be, you can just do Alt J, or sorry, Control J. That'll put them together. You know, um, And for the second thing, you need to know how rigging works, which is what I'm going to mainly teach you today, really. And the third thing, you need to know how weights work, and other things like that. So I'm going to try to teach some of those things. It's going to be a rather simple tutorial, but still a tutorial. I'm going to teach you things like how to make the rig, how to make an IK, and in this case, mainly a spline IK, which it basically just makes arms curvy and stuff, since that's how my character is in this. I'll show you both ways though, so no, do not fear. Okay, so first of all, it doesn't really matter if you want to be in here or not, though I would recommend keeping this on whenever you're in the bones, because it kind of makes it easier to see them. First, add an armature. Go over here to viewport display and turn on in front. That basically just allows it to be seen anywhere, which is useful. And in case your character isn't completely centered for some reason, you can just try your best to just get it in the center. It doesn't have to be perfect though. Now, turning that on will make it see-through even whenever you're in pose mode, which is very useful. Alright. Now, mainly I like to start my rigs with the bottom, because in this case, you can just, let's see, which one is that? Do this, which will be the main base plate for, all the bones following you, essentially. By the way, if you don't know how main things work, like what I just did here, you can just do, like, press R, and then, like, whatever direction you want it. So I want it to be I. And I kind of just pressed 90. If you want to go the other way, press, like, the negative, but you don't really have to do that, you know. S for sizing, and G for moving, you know. X, Y, and Z are the main keys to press after this to move it in certain directions. Now, from here, this can be rather simple, judging on how your character is made. But just put your bones in places where you want like things to move. All right, so like for example, I want these legs to move, you know, along with this hat. So I'll put like a bone here. I want the hat to move. I want to put one here and here and here. There's a different way for how the eyes work, but I'll touch more on that later. Um, Now there's two ways you can make a limb. You can just like, oh yeah, by the way, subdivide. You This allows you to just make more bones if you need. It's an easier way to center stuff, but if you just want like normal joints, you can just do this. Make sure to center this wherever you want the joint to move. And just so you know, if you go into like pose mode, which by the way, tab is for going into edit, and control tab for getting to here, or I guess up here, but whatever. Uh, Always remember, no matter what thing you're on, this will always move from the middle. All right, from wherever your joint is. Even if you have two selected, or I mean, at least if you're on individual origins, which I like to use most, uh, they will both move from their origin. This will be following this though, due to it being connected to it. If we look here. Also, for example, if you don't want it to follow, then you just press Y, you know, and you can do like keep offset, which will basically allow it to be away but still move with it. Just some useful stuff, you know. Now, Um, for this kind of rig, I kind of just want, I need to do, I think 13 of these, if I remember correctly, because that's how many cubes there are. Oh, well, allow me to do that. Well, I guess there is always a control or E. I guess that's the next thing I should teach, huh? E. Yeah, E is basically just how you extend a part of something. You can do this on models too, if you didn't know that, but it allows it to stay connected, you know? So it can be pretty useful. By the way, unless if your model is a little bit different than mine, you know, if it's not exactly mirrored on both sides, I would not recommend moving the bones at the moment like this. Now, I have to do this right now since or I guess I don't have to. I can just wait for later, but I'll show you more on that later. All right. Now, I'm just gonna take one of these, just like there we go. Now, sometimes this is why it's good to be on this because I can see exactly where this is on here, which can be pretty useful. Oh, and I just want to mention, if you didn't plan on using the spline rig, and you have just something like this, first of all, make sure there's a bunch of cuts right here so this thing actually moves along with the subdivide, you know? And along with that, uh, if you want your thing to move a bunch, let's say you want to move every single one of these, you might want to regulate how many you put there since might be a lot of work for later. Though it can result in a really good little rig, so I wouldn't go against it. Again, with making sure this is in the right location, just make sure to put it like basically where it is. Alright, that will help, trust me. I kind of want the top of the hat to move here a little bit, just this part right here, since I don't want it to bend, you know. So I'm gonna try to put a bone there. I'm not sure if it'll actually work well in the animation, but I'll try something. I'll try something, that's for sure. By the way, I'm not too sure about how your guys' models are made, but I would recommend putting a shoulder here, whether if it's something like this or not. I kind of just want to move this thing around a little bit, so it's a bit more lively, if you know what I mean, you know. So I kind of want to do something like that, you know. And here's where I can teach this again. Control P. Boom. This will basically just follow this now, which is pretty useful. Okay, now the eyes, I'm gonna focus on that later. All right. That is for later. All right, but in the meantime, let me just finish this trick. Alrighty. My little guy's done. So let me show you exactly what I meant when I say don't put this over here. Select absolutely everything except for the stuff in the middle, like stuff you don't need twice of, so like that as well. Now, literally just duplicate it. That is Shift D, by the way. And then right click, go into mirror, and whatever direction this is, kind of, in this case, I'm Y. Oh yeah, go to go to active element for this. Select one of this, and then deselect that. Again, just make sure it's selected right here. It'll move right there. So now this makes this a lot easier. Just boom. Oh yeah. I'm not sure if that actually helps or not, but whatever. Now it's mirrored on both sides, which is pretty useful. Now, in this case, for my model, I have a few things that are in needing of being completely re-rigged right here, mainly with the leg here. I got some weird shit going on here, so yeah, let me fix this. I have no idea how the ever-loving crap face hole. I forgot to forgot to make the body thing right here. But you know what? Okay, sure. Okay, now this is starting to look. Oh shh. Okay, now for real this time, it's actually starting to look like a rig. You know, it looks well. Though you may notice if you just go straight into edit mode. Wow, it doesn't move. Dear Ender Child, let me teach you on why this doesn't work yet. Um, you have to select the model first specifically, then the bone. Do another Control P, but this time different stuff shows up. Now you can press empty groups, which basically just means, you're just setting the model to the rig, so it doesn't set up weights or anything. If you already did set up weights, it doesn't remove that. It just you just make sure the model is set to the rig. Now, in this case, I'm going to do empty groups, but if you have something like the arms right here, then you want to do automatic weights, which basically just gives it weights, which is pretty good. You know, there are some things that have to be fixed, maybe, like the fact that other bones can probably accidentally attach to it. I can't necessarily show that right now since it won't let me, but whatever. I'll show you how to get out of that later, I guess. But in the meantime, yeah, I'm gonna just set shit up. Literally all of this except for the arms are empty groups. I have to do this myself. Okay, now you want to know how the hell do I get other than this? It's stuff moving with this. Well, go into edit mode. Oh boy, that's the tab button. This, select whatever you want, and also I'd recommend naming these something different. But if you're too lazy for that, then don't worry, you'll have to do it later anyways. So press names, go into here, just allows you to see whatever it is. Now, I would recommend doing sort by name because it's a lot easier. But you could also just search down here to like 27, but whatever. Now you can press assign. This basically just assigns this whatever you're selecting to that bone. So if I were to so if I were to select this and remove that, this would not follow with the bone. Also, I would not recommend allowing a rig to follow two things at once, two bones at once, because it'll just make it completely deform. It'll shrink and shit, and it's not pretty. But with that, now you can see, oh, oh boy, it moves with it, which is cool. I'll show you what I'm doing here with the model face whenever I get there, but whatever. I'm just gonna set everything for this and then show more later. Oh, look, this is exactly what I mean. Look at that. Now, I do want to say real quickly, this is another way of actually making sure this doesn't happen if you still want to use automatic weights. So, first of all, let me just go into here, 28, or I guess 22, and let me just remove you from history. Which, in fact, let me just remove everything here from history. I have an auto clicker. So, I just removed all of those. Um, Going to here. Now, these aren't actually on anything, along with these, which, in fact, just select pretty much everything except for what you want to be moving for you. So, let's see here. Yeah, I don't want any of these. Okay, I've just selected everything that I don't want to control these arms with. Go down here. You see this button, deform? Well, Press Alt and then press that button. Hold Alt and press the button. I forgot to mention this. Deform is the thing for like meshes connecting to a bone. So if you do automatic weights, but something doesn't have deform, then that mesh will not acknowledge its existence. And yeah, no more for that little bone. No mesh for that bone. What the hell? Now all of these don't have deform. And also, just so this is easier for me in the future, I'm just gonna do this. I'll talk more about this later, but for now. Okay, so as you can see, I just turned off the form. It doesn't control anything. But hey, there's one good thing about that. Now that means I can just set these to the model. And well, take a look for yourself. Yeah. Now we want to do the all magical thing called getting back in here and I don't know, allowing everything to have to form again. I'm just gonna select iris relate everything. You just press A for that too, by the way. I'm just gonna do the thing again. Okay, and now it all has to form, and now it all moves. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Now, this bone right here, which is what's supposed to control everything, just don't do anything with that yet, okay? Just don't. Not yet, not yet, okay. Now, you may ask, how do I get exactly what other people have? Well, I don't know the exact details, but I do know how you can get most of the things that you want with IK and stuff. But first, before I do that, I'm just going to select all, go into edit mode, and completely just set this to 0, using Alt, of course, to do it with all of them. Ah, now they are all equal. You are equals. Okay, so starting off here, we want to select where the hands are, okay? The joint of where the hand is, and the just about middle of your character's arm here. So let's see here. Let's Okay, so now you have all your things selected. Just go E, like we learned earlier. Pull them forward. I personally like these to go backwards. Now hold all of these and press Y. Now they're completely separate. Move this away. Maybe shrink these a little bit. Do not move them away though. Keep them with it. And along with that, the hand, Control P, and do that. Now, they follow these bones. I'll show you why that's a useful thing in the future. Okay? Actually, I'm about to show you that right now. So what we want to put here instead is something called the spline rig. Let's see, Spline IK right here. Now, this will allow us to essentially make this a bit curvy, but before we ever do anything with that right now, um, first let me just make the length correct. Okay, I guess not. I'll do that later. Okay. Currently, yes, but we will have to do this on both arms, so just just wait. Okay. And the legs too, I guess. Whatever you want a curve to be on, just do it on there. That includes tails or bendy arms or whatever the hell. So, so on here, let's just go back to edit mode. We basically just want to select all of these. Okay, so all of these vertices here is they're going to be controlling this what is it called? The curve. Yeah. So just pull those out and actually do that. I gotta do that on both sides here and down here too. I, I'm putting this shit everywhere. Oh yeah, I keep forgetting to mention this. Control L selects a whole group of something, anything that's connected. Whether you're on here or there, whatever. Yeah, now E, pull outwards. Oh boy! And of course, this for some reason doesn't like to obey the law, so we have to do it for it. You know, what law, you may ask? I don't know, I just made that up. There we go. Yeah, I'm just gonna flip this around since it's kind of in the way of the IK thing, which makes it a bit confusing. So, okay. Now, don't select all these at once because it also selects the middle bone. So just select them one at a time. I sleep for hours at a time. Forgot to do the legs, but yeah, I just have to mention one thing. This thing should go in front, all right, because the legs are gonna bend that way. Okay, so now we're gonna do something quite new. Control A or Shift A, sorry. Shift A is how you add stuff. I think I forgot to mention that. Now search Bezier. Just BEZ, I guess. And that's a curve. Now, this is what we're going to be using to make a curvy arm or leg or whatever the hell you were making. All right. So I'm just gonna go here. Press it on your number pad, by the way. Not like the one that's above the letters, but the one that's on the side. You can press those to change directions if you didn't know that already. Anyways, I want to put this right here. That's the wrong location. Rotate it towards. Okay. Oh no, I can't do it. Okay, so now we have that set up. We're gonna, press tab. Yeah, okay, well, I'm just gonna delete that. This thing can now go into the center. I'm gonna shrink that. Okay, now make sure it's pointing towards the way you want it to be. Okay, so we don't want any of this. We want that. All right, and same thing with the bones or anything else. Just press E, drag it into the relative location. Again, it doesn't have to be exact. So it should be exact enough to where you wouldn't notice it if you just look at it from far away. Or not really far away, but like whatever. Now select everything, A, press V, and automatic. That will assure that everything is fine looking whenever it tries to rotate or bend, I guess. Why rotate? Why was that the word my mouth chose? Now, before we duplicate it over here or down there or whatever the hell, I'm just going to show you how to do this real quickly. Go into here, spline, set this to the curve, and along with the curve, by the way, make sure to make it follow the body. So Control P and do bone relative. That usually means it's following a bone. So go like down here. So now you're selecting that. So now you'll do this and do this, and now this is following this bone specifically, which works well. I mean, I don't think it really matters here, but whatever. Okay, so now that we have this set up and that set up, there's one last thing we have to do here, which is to go back into here, go here, modifier, and hook. I just spelled hawk. Hawk. I'm gonna go back into here and the names. Now, remember this little guy we made earlier? Well, yay haul. We gotta put them next to that. Okay, so unfortunately, well, yeah, you can select the object. Oh, no, I'm gonna select the rig. The rig. Unfortunately, it does not allow you to select a bone. Why? I have no idea. Why would they do this? But whatever. So you're just gonna have to turn on the name things again, so you can be like, oh, okay, 104, you know. And before I do that, actually, duplicate this as many bones you have. I'm gonna do that real quickly. Okay, now I can do 104. Make sure you're selecting where the bone is and whatever the hell, and then press assign. Same thing with this, just 70, assign, and we're just gonna keep doing that. Okay, now this thing right here, I'm just gonna, you know, as many bones as we have here. So like, I think right there. No, right there. Yeah. Okay. Now that we have the bones hooked, there's just one last thing to do. Remember that IK thing I was showing earlier? Well, we can actually use that right now. Though, before I actually do anything with that, um, let me show you how this works if you don't already. Literally just select a bone, assign it to that group, and you might as well just do that. So now, if this thing is like this, ta-da, easy. I'm gonna do that for a shit ton of my bones now. I like to call these guys useless. Now, I usually grab these little curve guys, and put them into their own group called curve, or usually bendy for me. So you can hide or unhide them if you'd like. All of these bones I usually just call, like, sorry, I usually just call IK. Sign, remove. And everything else is just named something different. It really depends. I don't know. You don't need to have these, but it makes everything so much easier. Now this, which is also going to be in useless later, but for now, uh, this is the IK thing. So, let's see. You don't have to make it as many bones as this thing is. I would recommend if it's bendy, then just probably do like four. That's probably enough. Yeah, yeah, that's good. And then you're gonna make these bones follow whichever bone it's like touching pretty much. So I would say like these follow that, these follow this, and then these follow that. Oh, I forgot that one. Alrighty. Now, simply enough, I'm pretty sure it's following. Yep. Now, simply enough, I'm just going to add the what is it called? IK. Do the normal. This bone, this bone, this bone. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now I'm going to select that and put it into useless. Boom. No, just this. Correct. Oh yeah, and this is pretty much useless. I mean, you can keep it. It doesn't really matter, but yeah, I don't know. I'd recommend keeping it. I wouldn't recommend keeping it, but whatever. I keep it on my model sometimes. Okay, so now if you try to bend your little thingy, you'll see, oh boy, why isn't that curving? Well, obviously, because you got to turn this. Turn. Infinite possibilities beyond human comprehension. Though there's even more you could do with that, if you would like. If you want it to be a little more high resolution, well, select all the bones that are controlling whatever it's holding. Go into bone, bendy bones, alt, arrow. I also forgot to mention this apparently. Bendy bones, uh, basically make the resolution of the bend of the bone higher. So usually, well, yeah, you have one bone there controlling it. It looks like there's like two if you put it on two. If you put five, then it looks like there's five bones controlling it. So, you know, the more you put, the more your shit bends. Two. Two. I recommend around two. That would suffice. If you want to do more and kill your computer, then sure. I'm not the one that's making your rig. You are. But yeah, that'll make everything look a lot better. Especially if it some weird shit can be conjured. Also, I'd actually recommend the last guy here to follow this thing, because then if you want his hand to just stretch, then that will happen. Also, if you want this to keep sticking to the body, then you can kind of just unhide that. I'm gonna hide that real quickly. That's H. I'm gonna go into here, copy location, do that. Oh wait, yeah, I was like that. Okay, now copy location, go into here, and do tail or head, whatever. And now it'll always stick whether this is following or not. Okay, this works on all kinds of shit or whatever the hell. So yeah, that works. Well now, if you excuse me, I'm going to spend the next hour or so of my life copying and pasting this everywhere. For the next hour and a half, this little Dyro boy decided to spend his life rigging and curving the hell out of this guy's arms, and probably gonna mess it up along the way several times. This is totally not me right now knowing what I am going to do. Okay, one thing I forgot to mention real quickly. Um, so usually since a curve doesn't really bend, whenever you try to move this, the thing doesn't actually curve with it. So, something you also want to do right here is to add a simple copy location or rotation, and it's simply going to copy this, like the last part of the IK right here. Or I guess the first part, I guess you can count it as, you know. That will allow it to essentially, well, follow that wherever it curves. So, yeah, just so you're aware, I guess. Okay, so I also added the thing to here since I just realized I forgot to do that, but yeah. So now our thing is basically done when it comes to the basic rig, I would say. I mean, look, we got, arms doing arm stuff, leg doing, leg stuff, you know, this thing. Now what we have to do really is a few things. Grab all of these. All right. So grab all the FK stuff, this, that, and the body, of course. And now that has to be the last thing you have to select. The last thing to select is this thing right here. Okay. Go into edit mode, Control P, and offset. Now, upon moving it, everything will move with it. The body will move like this, and these won't move with it, which is a good thing in most cases. Now, something I like to do though, just so like it makes it easier for me as an animator. Copy that. Then this must follow this. And you don't have to do this necessarily, but if you want to, you can make uh these also follow this one right here. Alright, so now what this will do is you can still move this, right? And you can move this. Body won't really move. But this thing, upon moving this, well, now you can make him crouch, and the arms will move with him. This also works very well when it comes to walking animations. You want them to move forward like this. The legs will stay planted on the ground until you lift it, and then put it down. So it does work well. Okay, now all this looks very junky and just weird. All right, so wow, I forgot to. All of this just looks very out of place now and kind of just looks bad. So there's a way we can fix that. I got a little rigging thing. I will put this in the description, a link to this modifier thing. Uh, just search a little thing how to add it. You basically just go into edit, go to preferences, go to add-ons, and there should be a little, yeah, install from disk. You select the file, it'll upload on here, and then you make sure it's checked, and then this will be added. And this, if you're wondering what it does, well, makes everything look pretty. So, what I like to do for whenever I make things look pretty, I usually select all the bendy bones. What? Select the. What the fuck? Okay. I usually select all the bendy bones. Go into here, ball, do that. Maybe make it a little bigger. And now, kind of looks coolio, you know. Now, these don't really blend well with this, so I usually like to make it a different color. Like if it's something that's dark like this, then yeah, I like to make it a different color. Now, since you can't really see them through here, it can be a bit difficult. So I usually like to press Alt, by the way, uh, Alt, and then just click one of these. So like maybe that. Now you can see it through this thing. It's really only useful if you're like, I don't know, if you want to make it look cool, then you can just do it because of that too. But it's also useful for if you just can't see anything here. So, yeah, it's pretty useful. Now this thing for you can basically just go over here, select that. Oh shit. Yeah, I basically just like to use this one for that. We have a bunch of options here, by the way. So we got like rotation. We have advanced options too that make allow you to do many things. I usually just use the normal though, since I don't really need this most of the time. Okay, here's where I like to edit the bone. Press edit right here. This allows you to change the way it's shaped. Now, why would you want this? I don't know, because it looks fancy and cool and stuff. Make it kind of fit the thing a little bit. I like it. I like it. Okay, I think it's very cool. Back to bone, that thing will sometimes show. It's not really fun. Again, I can change the colors here. Default colors. I want blue. Yeah. Now, finally, for the last thing for the body, before we move on to the face, is mirroring. Now, I'm not sure I really have the best solution for this down since I'm kind of an idiot, not gonna lie. Okay, so now you just want to name everything just something stupid and goofy. For example, I'm naming that the fog is coming, you know. Basically, you can just duplicate that over on one side of the thing. You can name other things differently if you want, but they don't have to be named differently like that. And now with that, you can just do a simple over here, period R, copy that pretty much. Period R, come over here, copy that. Now you can just put that on every single one. I also somehow forgot to explain this too, but if you put dot R on the right side and dot L on the other side, that means left and right, they will follow each other. Now, it doesn't matter which side the L or the R goes on, it just has to be the same name, and then period L or R, alright? And then, well, there you go, I guess. Well, actually, now with that, you can just select all the bones on this side that you had named. Now you can just do right click. Oh, go into edit mode, just do right click, mirror. God damn it. Names and wait, names and wait. Go to edit mode, right click, go to names and click this little boy. Now all of these will be named like left, or since they like to be confusing sometimes, they can be the opposites. Now that all of these are named, we can pretty much just copy that and paste that, but do R instead. Oh, god damn it. And do L instead. Now, is this the best solution? No. But is it what I do? Hell yeah. Yes, it is. Definitely not the best solution, though, unfortunately. Should I copy that? Go over here. 9, 8. God damn it. 0, 8. 0, 9. Now I can just come over here and do like, or let's type it in since I know what it is. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, normal. Now, if you are to press this, or go into tools and press this, it shall mirror, which is cool. Now, sometimes the roll will be off, which case can be bad because, yeah, look at that mirroring. That's not mirroring. That's just that. So, what I usually like to do is select absolutely everything. Alt 0. Now they're all alt. Right now, now they're all 0. And in case there's one mirror that decides, I want to go the other way, then it should. Then usually it's 90 or, wait, then usually you just need to change it to like 180, and it wouldn't move the same way. I mean, in this case it is, but yeah. Well, if you excuse me now, I shall, spend 3.5 trillion years attempting to, rename all of these. Okay, I have one of those really bad cases here where my things are just uneven because I have different joints here. So in this case, mirroring? No. No mirroring. None for that. Sad. Sad. All sad. Not sad. The feet are fine though. I can probably just mirror that. Yeah, see that's fine. Now we can officially mirror. Look at that biz. Biz? What does that mean? Biz. Okay, now moving on to that last part of the video where I show you how to make the face of your little guy. Okay, now this can vary a hell of a lot. Okay, there are a lot of different types of faces out there, and mine is different from some. Everyone has a different face for their own character. For me, I mean, it'll go relatively the same for most of y'all, but for me, in this case, it's gonna be a little different. Now, just so you know what's going on here, I have a subdivision modifier, you know, that's also shrink wrapped to here, and then this is a subdivision modifier as well. Let me just put these on max. They look, yeah, good. This is supposed to be like this, so it usually looks all smooth, but that's only in the render, which is why I usually put the viewport all the way to 0 for this. Though for this part, I'm gonna have to do double 0, and yeah. Okay, so upon coming to here, let me just hide absolutely everything, and then make a new group. I'll call this face. Oh my face. And now add a bone. It always starts with a bone. So I'm not gonna focus right now on where it is on the, the outside. Wait, I'm not gonna focus right now on how it looks like from the side. Alright, let's just get these into places first. So just put them to where, relatively to where the little points are on the face. This can vary. You should have like a smallish amount. If it's a kind of mouth that I have, there should be a small amount of vertices. Now, if it's a normal mouth, kind of just place it similar to how I'm placing it. There's other tutorials for this. I'm not one of those people to follow for that right now. Alright. Now, with the eyes, kind of just don't place it at every vertice, okay? But do place it similar to that. And if your other eye is exactly the same, like for me, just duplicate it over there. Coolio. And of course, we can do the same mirroring thing later. Okay, now upon going over here, you want to put it into the, correct location of the eye, or whatever part of the face it's going on. Okay, now what we're gonna do here is we're gonna select all of these. I'm pretty sure they're already part of face, but just in case. Yeah, that rhymed. Okay, so I'm gonna set empty weights to it. We're gonna do the same thing from before, where we kind of just like go into, or well, I guess I have to do the same thing before, where we go into here, you know, and now we're going to assign these to their corresponding bones. Now this may look goofy, but with all the modifiers on, it actually makes it look pretty good. This is how it'll look in render port. By the way, this is Simplify, if you didn't know. It's pretty useful. Make sure your PC doesn't lag to death. You know, I'd recommend using this. I usually just put it on 1 since 0 makes everything break. Now with that, I have a working mouth and eyes. So, we have something else that we still need to do. That's to make things actually work well. So, grab a bone, 1% forward, do that. Now, all of these are going to be, no wait. Okay, so first, I just want to grab this, come on here. Shit. First, I want to grab this, come on here, constraint, and I want to do shrink wrap. Same thing I'm doing with this thing here. Just attach it straight to the face. Hey, guys. Connect it straight to the face. Look, now it's on there. Now we want it like that, but like a lot less than that. Like that. I mean, you don't have to do it like that, but yeah, I do. Now, select all, and copy to selected. Boom. Now they're all like that. And now something else we can do. Edit mode. Go down here. Do that. Do this. Beep beep poo poo. Oh boy. I'm gonna select those. Do that. This should have no shrink wrap. And in fact, I'm going to go do that first of all. And then also make it so, I don't know, press this real quickly. Uh, no rotation amongst these axes except for the Y. Along with that on movement. Or the opposite on movement. See, now we can rotate it like this. We'll rotate this way. And we can move it, and it won't go back. which suffices. I'm gonna do the same thing with these. Now I'm gonna make all of these follow the head. Now I can just add a bigger one. This, all of these will now follow that. Now, move the face everywhere, move this everywhere, you know, and I can grab these and just move them around, make them do goofy shit, you know. I want them to be sad. Now, something else you can do double if you really want to is make bones that or make a bone that follows like these three will follow a bone. You'll see this on a lot of rigs. It's very helpful for animation. I am one to know. Yeah, kind of like duplicate that, you know. Now okay. Do the same with this one over here where all of these will just follow that. And these can kind of just do their own thing. So, ba 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 ba, ba 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 ba. You can do that with the eyes too, if you wanted to. And of course, make these follow, you know, the big guy in charge mouth here. Now, you can move that, blink, yeah, change these if you want to, I guess, you know. And of course, if you try to move the head, everything will follow. Now, of course, we can then do the mirror thing, where we just do like, I don't know, just skib. Do that. Sig. I'm gonna do sig again because I'm lazy, but like put put like a one this time, so it's it's different. It's different now. He's changed. I swear to it. I swear to it. He's killing so many people right now. What do you mean he's changed? I uh oh look, and here's my problem here. Yeah, we're going to do Alt and then 0, and now they follow each other well. Perfect. Oh boy. Oh boy. 67.r. That will go over here. 67.l was R. Now I'm gonna decorate these. So let's see here. Before I do any of that though, first I'm just gonna make all of these, and you know what? Yeah, all of these a different color. I usually like to make these circles on the eyes since I think it works well. I just have to turn down some of the shit. This I like to make, or wait, these I like to make a I usually like to make it look like the eye. So that's also just more circles. I know, guys, circles so great. Oh, in this one, it's just not a circle. Yeah, you thought. You actually thought. No, 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 no. I'm not doing circle for that one. I mean, I usually would, but like for the joke, I'm not going to do another circle. Okay, now I can make this one a this. And finally, these I also like to make this. Now, just so you know, these are all references. You don't have to make it look this way. I mean, like, at all. It could be completely different looking, for the way that you may make your bones look. But this is how I like to make my bones look personally. Now, I have made a few changes, and I think I like how everything is looking. This is basically where I stop. I'm basically done. Okay, usually I'd add some other things if I needed to or wanted to, like, you know, a little thing here with drivers, to add eyebrows or make a way for this to disappear or turn into something else. But this video was already turning out to be too long. Also, I don't think this guy should have eyebrows. I kind of want him to, you know, look like that. Well, yeah, I kind of want this guy to look like that, you know. I think that's funny. So, I'm gonna keep it like that. But yeah, no. Video taking too long, alright? This this is the finished product, basically. This is I mean, for a starter thing, it might be a little bit on the nose, it's a little too much, but still, this is this is really good, in my opinion, okay? This is really all you'd need for a sort of, rig for a cool little thing to play with, you know? Yeah, I have decided, this it it's good, all right? And besides, while drivers are useful, you'll probably be fine, all right? God damn it. No, I want to add a driver. But god damn. Yeah, so yeah, essentially, yeah, that's all you need to know. All right. Now I have this cool little guy I can make cool, funny shit with, and you can too. For two things. One, you have your own rig now that you can make, with your model. I hope everything works out well with that. This took me quite a while to figure out. When I say quite a while, I mean at least a year. I think it's kind of cool. I'm more focused on animation, but this shit is fire to me too. And hey, if you don't feel like doing all that work, but you for some reason watched the entire video or you skipped towards the end, uh, hey, you want this rig? I guess you can take the rig the model and everything that I taught here. You can take a look, see Poo or something. Maybe mess with it a little bit. I mean, he's pretty cool, in my opinion. I like him. He's pretty funny. So yeah, I guess I'll just leave him to you now. I have no idea how I forgot to mention this, but in edit mode, make the head, the main head, go up, duplicate a bone, go up here, and put it directly on top. Now, duplicate this and shrink it down. That's this. Then make this follow that, you know? So this thing is what the mesh is controlled by. Okay. So then on this head, we want to put a stretch 2. Alright. Now, with that, I put it in useless as well. Or no, I didn't apparently. Now I put it in useless because it is useless. We don't need it here. Now, this is the head, so it'll move around and do its normal shit, you know? And since the thing is stretched to this bone, the main head, and since the main head is following this bone right here, this will now stretch. Alright, so you can do and then move the head a little. So, yeah, I have no clue how I forgot to mention that. Please just excuse me on that. I am so sorry.